Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing this special video to give you something very tangible, to give you something that's going to really benefit you, to give you something that you can take and immediately apply to your transition that's going to help you in a very, very big way. I'm going to help you today how to create your transition roadmap that is full of goals you want to achieve. And I'm going to also help you also ways you can go about achieving those goals so you don't feel defeated, so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And this video is great for those of you who want to transition and don't know where to begin and are overwhelmed with all of the things you want to do and just don't know how to start. And it's also a great video for those of you who are in the midst of transition and are feel like you're stuck. You feel that you're not progressing fast enough. You feel that you're not making any changes in your life, or you feel like you're not going to reach your goals. This video is also really great for anybody who's watching, who transitioning or not, that is dealing with any kind of goal setting in their life, because just goal setting in general doesn't just apply to transition, it applies to any other aspect of transitions in our life. So that's what I'll be sharing with you today. So for starters, goals are essential. Goals are what you're going to be aiming for. Whether you are about to start your transition and you need to set your goals, or whether you are in the midst of transition and you need to reevaluate your goals, you need to reevaluate the direction that you're going for in. But goals are going to be very, very essential, because that's going to be in a long distance what you're going to keep an eye on. The metaphor for the goals that I want you to use is a house on a lake. Your goal and many other goals are going to be multiple houses and cottages and bungalows on a lake. Each goal is going to represent a house or a cottage or a bungalow or whatever, however way you want to see it. You can see it as maybe a boat, or you can see it maybe as a piece of land on a lake. But imagine this big lake is a future possibilities, and each one of those is going to be one of your goals. Now, what I'm going to be teaching you today and showing you how to do is how you're going to be able to get from where you're at right now to one of those bungalows and then to another bungalows. Because what you're going to learn how to do is you're going to learn how to build a bridge, so that way you can walk toward that bungalow. And once you're able to walk, that's when you know you have achieved your goal. So picture that. Picture each one of the goals as one of the houses on the lake. Now, if you're studying transition, I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to write down right now, what is it that you want to change in relationship to gender? Whether you're thinking that's possible to achieve or not does not matter. I want you to write down what is it you want to achieve. If you want to achieve, for example, a flatter appearance of a chest and you're thinking about mastectomy, write it down. If you want to achieve a larger breast and you're thinking about breast augmentation, write it down. If you want to modify your voice, write it down. If you want to appear more feminine or more masculine, write it down. If you want to start your hormones, if you want to come out, if you want to have bottom surgery, write it down. So write down right now everything that you want to, regardless whether you're going to be able to achieve that or not. For those of you who are in the midst of transition and you feel a little bit stuck or whatnot, I want you to reevaluate what is your houses on the lake are. Whether you still actually want to achieve those things. Maybe those things have changed over time. Maybe this time you realized you don't really want to achieve them. I also want you to think about new things that may have come up for you. For some of you, new things might be that now your goal is bottom surgery, whereas before you did not feel any gender dysphoria in regards to genitals. Now, since you are transitioning, suddenly the gender dysphoria is coming up and you're starting to feel it. So that's going to be your new house on the lake. So I want you to start thinking about the new goals you want to put down in relationship to your gender, in relationship to your identity. So those are going to be your houses on the lake. Now, what I want you guys to do then is have a one piece of paper for each one of the houses, right? So house number 1, top surgery. House number 2, voice masculization or voice feminization. House number 3, coming out. House number 4, changing clothing. Each piece of paper is going to be individual house, okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to start brainstorming all the little micro steps. Micro steps are going to be little think of them as each one is going to be a plank of wood, because your bridge is going to be made out of the wood. So each one step is going to be a plank of wood. So what are those planks of the wood that you're going to need in order to build the bridge? And so for some of you, it might be, okay, mastectomy surgery. So my plank of the wood will be, oh, okay, I need evaluation letters in order to get approval. So evaluation letter, plank number 1. They don't have to be, by the way, in order. Plank number 2 might be, I need to research doctors in my area. Plank number 3 makes them very, very small tasks, mini tasks, tiny tasks, not goal. Mastectomy, plank underneath mastectomy is find the doctor, schedule surgery, make sure insurance approves, get evaluation letter. No, that's way too big of a plank. You're not looking for a long bar that you're going to carry over and put across to serve as a bridge. You're not strong enough to create a whole bar. It's not tangible. So I want you to think about little mini tasks. I want you to think about little planks. So start listing planks underneath each one of your houses. Think about every little step you need to take in order to achieve that goal. Coming out. What are the planks? Okay, who do I need to come out? List each person that you need to come out. Potential times when to come out. How are you going to come out? Email. Are you going to come out in person? Are you going to come out over text? What is a good time to come out? Are you ready to come out this week, next week? So write down all of those things. If you come across a surgery that you kind of want, but you're saying, you know what, I'm thinking about the surgery, but I don't really have a lot of dysphoria about it, so I don't think I'm going to get it. Bottom surgery is a great example. A lot of you don't think you want bottom surgery, and a lot of you think that, you know what, you don't really have much dysphoria and it's not really going to bother you as much and you don't need it, but you kind of want it. Or maybe you don't want it, but you don't think you need it. I still want you to put it down as a house. Why? Because dates for the surgeries change drastically. If you want a good surgeon, good surgeons are booked for consultation months, if not a year in advance. And then they're booked additional year or 2 for the surgical schedule. So I want you to start putting together those little breadcrumbs and actually consulting, just so that you know you have the information. So if the time does come and you do want to get it done, you don't have to wait a year or 2 being in a very dysphoric state until the surgery arrives. So you're going to have houses and you're going to have planks underneath the houses. Each one of those planks is going to be your mini little steps, okay? So the next thing that I want you to do, and again, I want you to do this if you are about to start your gender transition, and then I want you to do this if you are in the midst of transition. I want you to reevaluate your houses, and I want you to ask yourself if you still want those houses, if you want to keep them, if you don't want to keep them, and what are the new houses. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to find a way that you can schedule during each week 1 or 2 planks. If you can do more, that's great, that's amazing. Find a way, look at your list. You're going to now have a lot of different planks. So you'll be able to schedule a variety of planks. If some seem overwhelming, others are going to seem relatively easy to do. One of your planks might be practicing voice therapy every day for an hour. Another plank might be make sure you schedule electrolysis. Another one might be make sure you practice something else. Make sure you practice maybe particular ways that you are talking and particular ways that you carry yourself. So what I want you to do is each day, if you have a calendar, this is going to work really great for you. If you don't have a calendar and you're not accustomed to calendar, take a piece of paper. So for each week, sit down, for example, Sunday, before Monday starts, take a look at all of your planks, at all of your house, and ask yourself, what are the 2 things that I can complete? And pick from different domains. I don't want you to focus on, I'm only going to conquer one goal, and when that goal is conquered, I'm going to go to the next goal. Goals seldom work like that. When we have a lot of goals, and transition involves a lot of goal setting, that's not how it works. And the best way to combat it is to focus on different aspects and different mini steps, mini tasks. I like to call them linchpins. You know, those linchpins you put on a wall, a linchpin to stick the wall up on, stick a piece of paper up on a wall. I like to look every time I do a task. It's, you know, I'm pushing my piece of paper closer to my goal, closer to my pin box. So that's how I like to think about it. You're going to be thinking about like building bridges. and you're building a bridge toward your house. And some of your bridges are going to be built faster, and some of your bridges are going to be built slower. Here's the important things to keep about when we're thinking about building the bridges, and especially for those of you who are in a mid-transition and you feel so defeated. You feel like you're not going anywhere. You feel like you are doing things in your transition, but you feel like things are so slow, and you're starting to feel like things are never going to happen. So here's what I want you also guys to do. I want you to start looking at your transition as a trajectory that needs to move upwards. But here's the trick. I want you to think about it as a trajectory that moves upwards, not in a linear way. So I'll give you an example. A good example would be dieting, right? So somebody wants to lose 20 pounds, for example. They start exercising, and usually the goal is to lose weight, right? The little mini tasks, mini bridges towards the house of losing weight are going to be maybe get workout equipment, and maybe get a gym membership, or maybe start running every day, or whatever it is physical activities they want to do, and then maybe eating better. So those are going to be mini tasks they're going to be implementing each week in order to get to their goal, in order to get to their house to build the bridge. Now, the progression is not going to be linear. It's not going to be a straight line. The problem with the goals is that we expect it to be a straight line. We expect it to go from point A to point B, and when it doesn't, we feel stuck. For those of you, that's why you feel stuck, because you're looking at your trajectory as a straight line, and you're expecting the straight line to happen relatively quickly. But in reality, trajectory, it works more like a whole bunch of different dots, just like weight. You start exercising and you feel great, and your little dots go up, and then suddenly you fall off the wagon, and you had a holiday and you ate a lot, and your dots go down, and then you picked it up again and you start exercising and they go up again, something happened, down, up. So if I were to take a ruler and to line up statistically where those dots are actually going, it will show me the trajectory going upwards. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep in mind that you want your transition to have a straight trajectory, but you don't want it to be a linear. You don't want it to always make sure everything is going right and everything is going perfectly. If everything is going to go right and perfectly for you, that's amazing and that's fantastic. The reality of life is that it's not going to go perfectly. Things are going to happen. You will be able to set up a surgery, and you're going to feel like your trajectory is going straight, and then you're going to realize that your insurance doesn't cover, and now you need to figure out plan B. So don't take that as something that you need to give up on. Don't take a lack of linear trajectory as something you need to throw out. That's the problem. Most of us, we just give up. Most of us say, it's not happening fast enough, I'm going to throw it away. Or a lot of people beat themselves up. A lot of people do this. You're sitting home and you're saying, I missed voice training this week. Now I feel really guilty. I feel like a slacker. I really should be working my transition. I messed up. What you want to keep in mind is not whether you messed up. What you want to keep in mind is whether when you did mess up, or whether not even mess up is not a good word, whether when you did fall down, are you able to get yourself up again, and you are able to get on top of your horse and move forward. So keep in mind, you want your trajectory to be straight, but you want it to keep straight in a different way. It's not going to be a straight linear, but it's going to be straight, but in a wavy way, because life is going to happen. But ask yourself, is my transition actually moving toward my goal? Is it stuck, plateaued, and not moving anywhere at all, or is it going downhill? Chances are your transition is actually moving toward your goal. In other words, you are building those bridges toward your house. You may not be building it fast enough, but what matters most is that it's moving in that direction. Remember, time is energy. Everything is energy, right? So you can either put your energy into building that bridge and eventually get there, or you can use the same amount of energy into not doing anything at all and never get there, but always think and dream about it, and you would waste exactly the same work output. So be very realistic and be very mindful about your work output. So that's what I want you to do. If you are about to start transition, start building your houses, start listing your houses, start looking at your lake as you dream, full of possibilities, and start listing what it is that you would like to achieve. And then start thinking about what are the planks that are going to be your mini bridges. What are the planks that are going to help you build that bridge? Because dreaming about the lake house is a beautiful thing. The reality is that you have to get to it. And you have to put a work to get to it. And sadly, there isn't going to be a boat that's going to take you there. You're going to have to put in work. That's just the reality of transition. So start working on it now. And for those of you who feel stuck, ask yourself, in what trajectory your transition going? Is it going upwards? Even though it feels like sometimes it's not linear and the dots are all over the place, but if you were to line it up, is it going upwards? And chances are it's going upwards. And start also reevaluating, what are your goals right now? Do you still want the same goals, or have they changed, and how? So hopefully this is helpful. Comment below, let me know. I love reading your comments. I love seeing where you guys are at in your transition. A lot of you have now become people that I'm very, very familiar with, so I'm really excited always to see where you're at. So comment below. Let me know, what are you, maybe list 1 or 2, what are your houses on a lake? What are those houses, and how do you plan about going forward in order to build those planks, in order to build those bridges? Comment below, let me know, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.